Good morning. Malta, the smallest European Union member state, is once again being called upon to shoulder responsibilities way beyond its remit. The case involving Sea-Watch 3 and al-ahbarijiet took place outside Malta's area of responsibility. We were not the responsible authority, and we were not the nearest safe port. The European Commission agreed that Malta has no legal search and rescue responsibilities when it comes to these cases. And given this point of principle, we followed the intervention that the European Commission undertook and which resulted in 8 member states agreeing to accept all the 49 migrants currently on board the Sea-Watch 3 and the al-ahbarijiet. During our engagement with the Commission over this crisis, we reminded all that Malta had unilaterally rescued a further 249 persons at sea whose lives were clearly in danger. These missions took place in areas for which Malta is responsible. We argued that it does not make sense that an ad hoc solidarity mechanism is applied only in the case where a safe port is refused, and then member states doing their duty are ignored. This would send the wrong signal politically, legally, and morally. Therefore, as a sign of goodwill by those who acknowledged rescue missions carried out by Malta in recent days, another 131 migrants already in Malta will also be relocated to other member states. This shows that Malta's efforts are being noted by the European Union and its member states. Furthermore, the European Union will be sending its experts to facilitate an expedient return after due process of a further 44 Bangladeshi nationals who were also part of the 249 persons rescued by the armed forces of Malta and who are already in our country. This means that out of the 249 that landed in Malta in the past days, and the 49 migrants on board the NGO vessels, around 220 persons will be relocated in all to other member states or will be returned to their country of origin. We welcome this show of solidarity and understanding that Malta is going beyond what is required of us. The member states that will participate in this ad hoc relocation program are Germany, France, Portugal, Ireland, Romania, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Italy. All member states participating in this relocation effort have informed the Commission in writing, stating clearly their willingness to participate in the process. Allow me to personally thank the European Commission for coordinating this major effort. It is very reassuring that the Commission understands our concerns and stepped in to provide the much-needed assistance. It is also very comforting for the Maltese people that the Commission, led by Jean-Claude Juncker, takes a leadership role in these situations. The operation to transfer the migrants onto our armed forces vessels in Maltese territorial waters will start as soon as possible. The NGO boats will be then asked to leave our territorial waters immediately after the transfer of the migrants is completed. Malta is a very small country. It is in our nature to assist those in distress. But as Prime Minister, I cannot shirk the responsibility of safeguarding our national security and national interest. I reiterate, as I did before, that this case shall not act as a precedent, and I have the reassurances that we will have the support of the European institutions on this matter. Finally, everyone, member states, and NGOs should follow the appropriate rules rather than acting out of their own volition and then expecting others to solve the problems which they create. Questions?
So what are you telling us basically is that the migrants that are on boat now, they will be as soon as possible transferred. When? It means now, any hour soon. Are they coming here to Malta, to disembark here in Malta and then transferred to the countries? Thank you very much.
Quello che ho detto è che ci sarà un trasferimento dalle barche delle NGO sulle nostre barche militari. Le NGO ships non attraccheranno a Malta, il trasferimento sarà nelle nostre acque territoriali. Appena questo trasferimento si farà, è una questione di poche ore. I migranti verranno qua e verranno distribuiti negli altri paesi. Tutti i paesi che ho menzionato hanno informato per iscritto alla Commissione europea che aderiranno a questo meccanismo. In più, noi abbiamo fatto la nostra argomentazione con la Commissione europea che questa è una questione che non riguardava assolutamente Malta, in modo politico, in modo legale, e che non fa senso che ci sia un metodo di rilocazione di individui soltanto per una crisi che non è stata creata da noi. Nel frattempo noi abbiamo fatto il soccorso di altre 249 persone. È il minimo che ci aspettavamo dall'Unione Europea. Che è successo è che una parte sostanziale di questi, in questo caso la maggior parte, venissero anche loro compresi in un meccanismo di rilocazione. Questo è che è successo. Dall'altro fronte ci sono anche tra le persone soccorse da noi 44 nazionali del Bangladesh che non hanno diritto d'asilo. Ovviamente ci sarà il processo di cui sono intitolati, ma alla fin fine, al termine di questo processo, la Commissione europea ci ha dato la facoltà di usare le loro risorse per far sì che queste persone vengano ritornate in una questione di tempo molto corto.
Che continua a ribadire che i porti devono essere chiusi.
Forse gli aeroporti sono aperti adesso, non so, perché il Presidente del Consiglio ha detto che viene con l'aereo a prenderseli, allora forse i porti sono chiusi ma gli aeroporti sono aperti, non so. Si sa, ma la corrispondenza non è stata indirizzata a noi, è stata indirizzata alla Commissione europea, allora c'è una corrispondenza formale dal governo italiano alla Commissione europea che ha detto che il governo italiano accetterà una parte di questi migranti, il numero è stato indicato, il numero approssimativo, ma siccome non è una corrispondenza indirizzata a me o al governo maltese, non penso che sia un compito mio di divulgare quel numero, ma potete chiedere alla Commissione europea.
President, do you feel that this ad hoc agreement creates a precedent? And my second question, you spoke of written statements, assurances given by the EU member states. Were these assurances given to the Commission or to the Maltese government? And has Italy given a written assurance? Because what we've been hearing from the Italian counterparts over the past few weeks has been quite convoluted between the different deputy prime ministers.
I believe this does not create a precedent because we have been given the reassurances that it does not create a precedent, and what we're doing is on grounds that it is human nature, that it is obvious that in cases like these where there are people who have been trapped, have been caught in a bureaucratic trap, really and truly, which is not of our making. I will not point fingers at who is to blame, on this, but it's definitely not their fault and it's not our fault. But at the end of the day, someone needs to bite the bullet. And we decided that we cannot really play around with people's lives. Having said that, we don't have any, political, ideological concern on this, because while all this standoff was taking place, we were rescuing other people. So it's not a case where we said our ports are closed. No, we're saying we do our job, others need to do their job. There were circumstances where someone did not do their job, or more than one part did not do its job. And a decision needed to be taken, and at the end of the day, I'm here to take decisions, and I will take responsibility for this decision not to play around with people's lives. On the other hand, I thought it was very important for the European Union not only to step in to solve this issue of the 2 migrant ships. It's too easy to say, okay, we will distribute 49 people amongst ourselves. Proved not to be that easy, but it's relatively easy. Our point was, okay, so this is a situation that has been created by a standoff, and Europe is showing some sort of solidarity since a standoff has been created. What about us? What about us that will do our job all the time? What about us who have rescued people? What sort of solidarity is being shown? And that argument has been understood. Yesterday evening, actually the member states taking part stepped up their commitment. And that for us was a very important political signal. So at the end of the day, 74 people of the 249 who have been rescued will remain in Malta. That is by far the greatest commitment of all member states. We have made not only per capita, but also in nominal numbers. We're hosting more people than anyone else. But we accept that. What we would not have accepted is a situation where we are lumped with a problem to put a European problem ourselves, all on our own. On the issue of the Italian government and the reassurances, I have been informed personally by the Commission that all the member states have sent in their pledges in writing and formally. So it's not a word of mouth. So I will not enter into Italian politics and say who sent what to whom, but definitely the Commission has in writing from the Italian government that it is going to accept a number of these migrants.
Firstly, we've seen a number of these ad hoc agreements in the past when it comes to migrants who are in distress, etc. Do you think that it's time to have a proper push for perhaps something more permanent in terms of solidarity here? Because it's always the same countries. And secondly, in the next European Council, which is coming up, do you intend to push for migration to be discussed? And if yes, what kind of measures are you looking at? Would you consider vetoing votes, for example?
Look, I think it's obvious that we need something that is more structured and more long-term. Right now, I think it would be delusional to think that there is the political climate for this to happen. I think it will take more time. We will need to take into consideration the political realities in many countries, but we will not stop striving for this to happen. On a more regional perspective, I still think that Malta and Italy are partners, and we face the same issues. We're on the same side of the story. Maybe right now the narrative in the 2 countries is a bit different. It's a lot different, really. But at the end of the day, we remain partners, and I think we share the same goals.
Prime Minister, you just finished a meeting with the Libyan Prime Minister a couple of minutes ago. Were there some sort of results from the Libyan side, avoiding that such amounts of immigrants do not pass from one side to the other?
Well, I think
from the side
I think the Libyans are doing a very good job at the end of the day. So if you see the commitment from the Libyan side today, and compared to a year ago, the level of their commitment has increased exponentially. Also because input from the European Union when it comes to the identification of their search and rescue area, the help from the Italian government when it comes to their patrolling of their territorial waters. If the European Union is helping Libya finance and set up and train its Coast Guard, and this Coast Guard is finally functioning, we need to allow the Libyan Coast Guard to do its job. It's not a race of who comes first within Libyan territorial waters. It's a sovereign state with its problems, yes, with its problems, but if they're coordinating a rescue, they should be allowed to coordinate a rescue. I think it's not on that organizations think that, they can decide the rules for themselves. Member states, rightly so, are held accountable to proper international rules. NGOs should also be held accountable to proper rules. So the lady there wanted.
Prime Minister, 2 questions. Were the 49 migrants made to wait outside of Malta while the government was reaching an agreement about the 249 migrants? And the second question, at one point you seem to imply that NGOs are creating problems. Can you please clarify?
No, I'm saying that member states and NGOs both need to abide by the rules. I'll be very clear. Member states, if it's in their area of responsibility, cannot refuse entry or rescue to people who have rescued other people. That's very clear. On the other hand, NGOs need to obey the orders of the competent authorities. They need to abide by the rules themselves. If one of the two goes amiss, if either the member states or the NGOs try to do it themselves, then we're in for considerable problems in the next few months. Your first question, whether the 49 migrants were made to wait, to be very blunt, no one asked the 2 ships to come to Malta. They were not next to Malta when the rescue took place. They were next to Libya. If one argues that Libya is not a safe place, they were next or near to 2 other safe places, namely Tunisia and Italy. Definitely not in Maltese waters, definitely not in Maltese zone of competence. So I think it's unfair to say that someone was made to wait when no one was asking them to come. Secondly, it's not a free-for-all. There are rules, and I cannot just, as a Prime Minister, be expected to say yes to everything all the time, but there are clear rules, and from our side, we wanted a clear political sign that our adhering to the rules was being appreciated. So if you want to say that they were made to wait until we reached the solutions, yes, they were made to wait until we reached the solution. But at the end of the day, we did not create the problem ourselves.
Ministru, se tittieħed azzjoni legali kontra l-NGOs jew kontra l-immigranti abbord?
L-għażla tagħna kienet illi, okay, I reply in English. So the question was whether there would be any legal action taken against the NGOs. Our choice was that the transfer would take place within our territorial waters and that the 2 vessels would not be allowed in and they would be asked to leave our territorial waters immediately. That's the action that we're taking.
Angela Caponetto, Rai News 24. Lei prima ha detto che le ONG devono rispettare le regole. In questo caso loro hanno detto noi abbiamo seguito il protocollo reale, però adesso sembra che i porti siano però chiusi solo ed esclusivamente alle ONG, perché appunto lei stesso, ma anche in Italia, ha detto che arrivano con le proprie motovedette, con le navi militari, quindi sembra che i porti siano chiusi solo alle ONG e perché? Prima domanda. Seconda domanda, anche lei prima, parlando con al-Serraj, il rappresentante del governo riconosciuto ONU, ha detto che la Libia però deve anche fare uno sforzo per rispettare i diritti dei migranti. Le ONG dicono noi non li riportiamo indietro perché i diritti dei migranti non sono rispettati.
Ok, io penso che la cosa principale è che noi siamo prima di tutto un porto sicuro, un porto aperto. Noi non abbiamo mai chiuso i nostri porti. Quello che abbiamo detto noi è che tutti devono rispettare le regole e se c'è un'autorità competente che sta coordinando un salvataggio, le istruzioni di quell'autorità riconosciuta internazionalmente deve essere rispettata. Per essere più chiaro, se un vascello, una nave sta effettuando un salvataggio in acque libiche coordinato dalle autorità libiche, non può dire a me non mi piacciono i libici, allora non seguo quelle istruzioni. Quelle sono le regole internazionali, mi spiace, non le abbiamo inventate noi, sono le istruzioni internazionali. Se un salvataggio viene coordinato da Roma, tutti devono, anche noi seguiamo le istruzioni da Roma. Se è coordinato da parte nostra, Roma deve seguire le istruzioni che diamo noi. Quello che chiediamo è quello che penso che si aspettano tutti.
Minister, regarding this agreement, does this cover future rescue by NGO boats?
No, it doesn't. For the simple reason the agreement hasn't got to do with NGOs or they were not party to the agreement. It's an agreement between member states. So this is not a tirade against NGOs or against other member states. It's an appeal for everyone to follow the rules. This is happening at a time when usually crossing don't take place. Next summer, the air will be clearer, the sea will be calmer. Things might get out of hand unless everyone follows the rules. Then we might have a political argument on whether Europe is doing enough, on whether one country is doing enough, whether, are we giving enough attention to Africa. Those are very legitimate issues. But in order to argue on these things, we need the prerequisites. And the prerequisites are that everyone needs to abide to the rules. So, final question.
Una domanda non da Primo Ministro di Malta, ma da cittadino europeo. Volevo sapere se lei non trova vergognoso che ci siano 49 persone da più di 20 giorni in mare a poche miglia da questa costa. Cioè non si poteva trovare una soluzione portando a terra intanto queste persone?
Io non posso darle una risposta spezzandomi in due. Posso soltanto dire che ogni ora che passava senza una soluzione non era un'ora di cui andavo orgoglioso, ma alla fin fine penso che la soluzione è stata trovata, non è stata trovata dall'Europa, è stata trovata da alcuni membri stati dell'Europa.